Hey everybody, this is Matthew with Forging Your Legend. Today I want to talk to you about perfectionism. First off, perfectionism is not based in reality. I often tell people, if you want to heal, have a correct relationship with reality. And there is no such thing as perfection in reality. I'm not talking about the perfection of nature or the perfection found in the imperfect or God's perfection. I'm talking about the obsessive compulsive ideal that we sometimes get with a project or just with how we live our lives in general, where we think we can just always tweak it more. It just has to be flawless. That is not based in reality. So understanding that, we can have compassion for ourselves, hold space for the fact that this is really a defense mechanism, something that came from feeling like we didn't have control, came from feeling like our value is only based on what we could achieve and if we did it right. So we have compassion for that, which relates to a growth versus a fixed mindset. I would encourage you to look this up more, but in very loose, simple terms, a fixed mindset says, I am who I am, I'm good at things and bad at other things, and my value is inherent to what I achieve and what I'm just good at. There's no room for that to grow or change. Now, a growth mindset, on the other hand, is a mindset that says, I can develop, I can change, I can adapt. I may have natural gifts, but I can develop in other areas where I might not be as naturally gifted. My value is in how I show up, how hard I try, and I get pleasure from working at things and growing. And perfectionists tend to be fixed mindset people. That tends to lead to more depression, anxiety, just not feeling good about yourself, because you only can fall from there. It can only go downhill from there. You have to work to maintain this standard. Whereas people who aren't worried about that, people who are focused on growth and just developing themselves, they're not going to worry about being perfectionistic, because that's not what they derive their sense of self from or their value from. One piece of advice I can give you in terms of how to break the pattern of perfectionism is to practice what I would call forcible moderation or tactical laziness. To give you a good example of this, if you are trying to learn a piece of music and you have a tendency toward being obsessive and perfectionistic about it, you may be trying to go from 0 to 100 and go from not practicing to going 2 hours a day. But that might be too much, and you might get frustrated and give up because you're not achieving what you want. So forcible moderation or tactical laziness says, I'm just going to show up for a small amount, and then I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to make myself leave it alone, because I know my tendency to try to overwhelm myself and to try to get it all right immediately, instead of just enjoying the process. And being tactically lazy, more specifically, can be knowing when to say, this is good enough. It's not perfect. In fact, I know I could do better, but I'm choosing not to because this is enough. There are obviously times in life where you do want to give your absolute best and strive for the next best thing after perfection, which is, excellence, you might say. But there's other times where, honestly, a half-assed effort is perfectly fine. You have to know when to be tactically lazy so that you can put your energy into what actually matters. And that helps to break this pattern of perfectionism, because when you start showing yourself that you can do something imperfectly and it's okay, you start to realize that, again, this was always based on a protection mechanism in your brain, trying to keep you safe from the feelings of being out of control or unsafe that you may have picked up somewhere in childhood, and lets you just be, put your energy where it really matters. So this isn't really about no longer striving for anything. It's about choosing where you want to work really hard and where it's not helping you, where it's not working for you, where it's working against you. So keep these things in mind and ultimately have compassion for yourself and know that you're awesome the way you are. Doesn't mean you can't grow and develop. Again, growth mindset, you can get better, but where you are is fine too. You're on a journey, and that's just fine the way it is. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, comment, share, follow. And you can find more at forgingyourlegend.com. And just let me know if you need some assistance. I do offer one-on-one sessions with people, as well as a number of other offerings. So thanks so much for watching. Make it an amazing day.